Crack.
Pat.
Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny. Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you.
Die.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a late version of the general discussion. This is Michael.
I'm Johnny, hello.
And welcome to Anime Casuals. Today we are talking about what we have codenamed Animovies. Now, this is not just anime movies. This is anime movies that are directly linked to the anime series. So this is not like a Your Name or Studio Ghibli movies that are their own standalone thing. These are all movies that are inevitably tied to a series. I think our realization when we last tried to record this was Pokemon. Well, Pokemon was a huge one, and I don't know why we didn't.
A huge one.
I don't know why we didn't think of this at the beginning. Yes, Pokemon, in fact, like really made the scene for having like a very popular series of movies. Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back being like the initial inaugural amazing movie. I think like maybe like the first anime movie we might have seen, not together, but I mean like
in our lifetime, because maybe
yeah,
that might be.
yeah.
That was definitely one of the earlier ones. I remember you could get one of the. Wait, was that the one you could get Mew?
Yeah.
You got the knockoff Mew.
Yeah, and then they I think around that time they also had like the golden the golden Pokemon inside the Pokemon and like balls and stuff like that.
No, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. So yeah, that is what we call anime movies. And getting right into it, I guess through this you'll hear all of our opinions about like what anime movies we like, but at least getting started with our initial like childhood experiences, I really enjoyed anime movies because it helped break the barrier between like my weird self and other. I could do stuff with other people to go see anime, and that's what was exciting. Like I was like, "Hey, you want to go see this Pokemon movie?" And it was like, "Yeah." Yeah, I would like to go see that Pokemon movie.
I always like just having the extra little like adventure, the little treat of it. When I didn't get to see Goku doing something crazy. Oh, he's messing with the Tree of Might. That's awesome. Doing some craziness. There. And even admittedly, going to the theaters were always fun because like Pokemon with the Mew card and Yu-Gi-Oh with their whole. You get these 3 cards that are super awesome. Not.
Oh, I totally forgot about the Yu-Gi-Oh movies.
They looked cool. All those like Sphinx cards, whatever. But yeah.
Thinking about the Pokemon movies, that was also like one of my first exposures to like, besides Pixar, to like a pre-show happening. I think that was like Pikachu going on an adventure.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and those would happen. I think they still happen before every single Pokemon movie, and it was like, hey, let's show you a little short about like what the Pokemon are doing without Ash and the group. So yeah, that was pretty exciting.
I always thought those were funny. I don't know if they still do them where they just didn't show Ash's face for some reason.
Yeah, like he didn't exist. Yeah,
you don't get to see them. This is Pokemon, not people.
Yeah, this is Peoplemon. This is not what you were expecting. But like you mentioned, I think the other big introduction to what anime movies were, well, at least tied to a series, was Dragon Ball Z. There was like
another one.
Was it like 9 of them? There's a ton beyond the new ones that have come out.
True.
Like
yeah, I don't even know. Like back when it was.
Wait, how many could you name like right now?
If I had to just guess, man,
Okay,
I think I could get 7.
Okay.
At least.
Yeah.
I don't want to give myself too much credit. I don't
No,
think I can do it.
and I don't think we're gonna like that'd be impressive. Like if you have seen the Dragon Ball Z movies, if you can name like the biggest one, I could just start with like Tree of Might. We got Garlic Jr. Revenge.
The second Garlic Jr.
The second Garlic Jr.
There's 3 Brawly movies, so if you go up to those.
There's Jelly Brawly, there's regular Brawly, and there's Legendary Brawly.
Yeah, it's like Reborn or Fusion or something.
So that's where
it's not BoJack, I think, but there's some Android movie.
Horseman.
Yeah, BoJack Horseman comes in.
That's my favorite
But
anime.
I actually want to say it's like it's an Android.
It's
fusion
BoJack.
movie.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're up to 6.
What else am I forgetting here? I don't know. Brawly, Garlic. That might be.
I don't think that's it.
Watch, we're gonna look it up later and be like, oh, there's like 7 we missed. Great.
Well, the thing is, like, when I remember like these movies, like I'm trying to remember Tree of Might, but I also remember like Gohan tripping out and going on the ledge. But I'm like, that might still just be Tree of Might. So like they were really good, and like part of this world was accepting the non-canon aspects of this, and there are canon movies out there, but a lot of these are non-canonical, which means that the events that happen inside the movies are outside the realm of the main series. So I would say like Dragon Ball Z did an amazing, Pokemon as well, did an amazing way of casting these movies in a light that made sense. Like Dragon Ball Z did it in a way that they were like, you know what? These movies are non-canonical, but Goku's not doing anything crazy. Like, he's not, like, doing Kaioken times 1 billion. Like, he's not going to the extent of, like, something he wouldn't do in the show. But they were able to still keep this anime movie very much tied to the power level of Goku.
Cooler, and then Cooler Reborn. Sorry, I just thought of that right now. That's
Okay.
2 other movies.
Hey, we're up to, like, 8. Hey, you did it.
But no, that's true. I mean, none of the situations were really, I think, everlasting. I think they were always like, oh, this is all crazy and world-ending.
Yeah.
Oh, it just kind of cleans itself up. Like, I don't remember. I want to say the Tree of Might, like, they cut it down and then it, I don't know if it shriveled up or if that just would have made sense. Like, okay,
I think
it's just this giant tree. People are going to cut it down. That's fine.
I think, okay, if I remember, it was a spear bomb that took the energy from everybody in the world and the tree, and then he blasted it through whoever he was fighting. The tree exploded and all the energy went back to the earth.
That might be it.
Yeah. But speaking of that, like, you're totally right. Like, it was an apocalyptic scenario that he solved, and then somehow Earth reverted, as things tend to do. Mewtwo Strikes Back did it amazingly. It was Mew and Mewtwo went through and wiped everybody's memories. And I was like, whoa, that they still exist. Everything can still happen, but you know, the Pokemon and the humans don't remember what happened, but it's still, the events took place. So, and you do see Mew and Mewtwo later on in the series, so it's like, okay, this kind of makes sense. Like, this is all okay. And I think that's really where the start of a lot of these wonderful little movies, like Digimon movie is great. Like, it helps span the time between when like Tai and the gang are adults, and we have Duke Devlin. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
We have the next generation, and it helps like connect the two of them. And there's like a lot of movies out there that are non-canonical but are great for watching and really won't diminish like your, I guess, interaction with the series.
So let me ask you something. Do you prefer something too canonical, or, I mean, it could be whatever it wants. I mean, because like example would be like Demon Slayer recently was too canonical. It was exactly like the first, you know, half of the season. But then we have other ones which are, I don't know, My Hero kind of blurs that line a little bit with how they're like,
well,
they barely touch it in the series, but then there's other ones which are bigger, which, I don't know. I guess Made in the Abyss, just because like you've mentioned, they just turned it into all movies, so that's got to be canon too. So.
I guess we'll get into that. I guess we'll start with what made me hate non-canon movies is the Naruto movies. All of the Naruto movies suck except for the Boruto movie and the last one, which I think is like Naruto the last movie.
Naruto the Scarf movie.
Yeah, Naruto the Scarf movie. All of them suck. And the reason is because They're just fluff. And they don't add anything to the series at all. Now we go off to the My Hero movies, which are newer movies, right? Like, there hasn't been a Naruto movie in a while. The My Hero movies make me upset because they do things that make the main character more OP than he is normally. Example, if you've watched the My Hero anime, you know, like somewhere in the second or third season, Deku does like 1,000,000% punch.
Again.
Again. And it's kind of crazy. Like, it is a really cool scene. It is a really ridiculous. He goes, 1,000,000% superpower punch. And he does it, and it's, you know, really emotional and fun. And then him and his broken body, like, run away. They do something very similar in the second and third movies, but not so much in the first movie. In the first movie, like, he gets this, like, these weapons these gloves that were made specially for him that can handle one All Might punch without injuring his body. And they actually play around with that in the movie. Like he uses it, he keeps his power down, and eventually he has to break through these gauntlets and team up with All Might to really defeat, like, this super powered mech villain, which is awesome. Like, all of that was really cool. Love the villain in it. Yeah. But then the second and third movie, without really spoiling anything, there's stuff that happens that's like, why? What is going on? Why is like Deku like getting like an ounce of adrenaline shot into his heart so he can do extra feats that he never will do in the series, as well as this incident in the second movie that happened with Bakugo that I feel like is very polarizing for the community out there, like whether they liked it or they thought it was a bit overreach. So, speechiness aside for me, I don't like it when non-canon movies make things that should be canon. Or, I guess, give characters in the main series power that they didn't have normally.
Just for the sake of the movie.
Just for the sake of the movie. Yeah, it's really annoying to me. There's other things. I guess we'll touch on canon movies in a second. Tell me your opinions on non-canon movies.
It's kind of a love-hate thing. I mean, that's the thing. Going back in time, and like we were talking about, things just kind of mysteriously cleaned themselves up in the older films. But technically, I mean, you could be like, none of those are really canon. Well, yeah, they're not canon, but I mean, you know, they just don't have the same kind of canonical impact in the show. And I mean, My Hero also does the same thing, but I don't know. I don't mind it too much. I don't take it too seriously. I mean, if anything, thinking about it now, I guess I prefer the one-off versus the reiteration. Yeah. Like in Demon Slayer. So, as far as like which way do I lean, it's probably like that. Because I mean, I have fun with it, I guess. I mean, I always enjoy it. I mean, admittedly, it does suck when you watch that, especially now, because I'm like, that's awesome. I hope I get to see that in the anime. It's never gonna happen. So that's kind of a bummer as far as like, why did we watch this?
And that's usually my take. Is like, I appreciate everything that happened in this anime. I can stop moving my hand so forward because it keeps unfocusing the camera. I appreciate everything that they did. I appreciate everything they did in the anime, but in the end, you just watched something that had no impact on anything. And the problem is that you're watching it knowing the main character's going to live. And that's all, like, they're going to be undamaged, they're going to be healed fully by the end of the movie. Like, whatever damage they take in this movie is not going to be carried on. And that's, like, my biggest issue. Is when you watch some of these DBZ movies, they were in between the series. So it was like, it could be potential that, you know, something might happen to Goku in one of these movies, and then he might come back. But all these My Hero movies, you know that's not going to happen. Like, Deku has very obvious story arcs going into something. And, like, that's basically a lot of the big issues with non-canon movies is, you know, exactly what you said. There's no continuation for them. As soon as the movie's over, it's done, and it will never be remembered by anybody. But on the other hand, we have canon movies. And I appreciate canon movies a lot more because it truncates what could be like a 16-hour arc or a 5-hour arc into just a nice hour and a half, 2 hours, which really makes it easy. And we'll start, before we get all salty about Demon Slayer, we'll start with somebody who doesn't do it good. First is the Code Geass sequel movie, but I can't talk about that too much because I don't want to spoil it out there for you. It is a sequel. It is canon. No Game of Life Zero, prequel canon, does amazing work for like telling more about the story. So is the Kill Geass movie. They're both really good. But Made in Abyss, I think, is like the top of the charts for turning a series into a series of movies. You like what I did there? And sticking with the movie format potentially until season 2 comes along. I think it is. I don't know 100% of how budgeting works for movies over doing an anime series. I would feel like it's easier to do a movie since it's one like injection of budget instead of a budget that lengthens itself and paying people over a long amount of time for a series. At least
that's a good point.
Using logic to try to like just figure that out, but in the end, if you can take an arc and shrink it down to about 2 hours without losing anything or losing anything important, I think it's worth it. Because Made in Abyss, they truncated basically their whole, like, was it like 12 episodes? Something like that? Maybe it was 24. But they did it into 2 movies, which is like 4 hours. And they're honestly really good. I rewatched the movies and they're fine. And the new movie that came out, Dawn of the Abyss, I think that's it. Maybe it's Dawn of like the Soul Star or something like that. But that movie is also really good, and I don't think we need a retelling of it. I think we both enjoy it. It's very dark and creepy.
Is that the suitcase one?
Yeah, that's the suitcase one.
That's really cryptic, right?
Yeah, it's very cryptic. What's in the suitcase, Gavin?
You'll learn.
What's in the suitcase? But it does a really good job of telling what could have been a longer arc in a movie format. And then we also have the Demon Slayer movie, and I'm going to get to it. The Demon Slayer movie, we all agree, is fantastic. I mean, it's like it's the highest grossing anime movie of all time, I think, right now. It topped Japan's anime charts. It is, it did amazingly here in the States, and honestly, worldwide, it really made bank for everybody who saw it, and everybody I've heard, like, based on opinions, they really enjoyed the movie. So it's all around like a 5-star or 10 out of 10 movie. So definitely go watch it. But the problem is that they just had a series over the past 7 weeks that just retold the anime or retold the movie with maybe an extra 30 minutes thrown in.
No.
They said that we had an extra 70 scenes, but those extra 70 scenes could have been done in one episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell where those extra scenes were, if at all. I mean, it definitely felt more like there was a deleted scene, like just kind of thrown in there a little bit. But
good deleted scene. But
I that's the thing. I really liked the movie. I really enjoyed it. I think I saw it twice for the sub and then the dub. But I don't know why waiting every week for a new episode of Demon Slayer to come out and just being like, oh, this was essentially the movie. I mean, I don't know. That's fine. But I'm like, I already paid for it twice. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing.
Without some extra, just like flavor text. I mean, I wasn't looking for any like crazy fight scenes or anything because there's a ton in the movie and even in the series. But I don't know. I guess expected just a little bit more in depthness with characters.
Yeah, and with that is like you mentioned, like there was a deleted scene or an extra 20 minutes at the beginning of this series of movies that added something but didn't change the movie that much. It just was like, where did Goku get lunch? Now we know. Okay.
Well, that's the thing. It was such a small... I'd even say that was a little character thing in Rengoku. I mean, we knew he was a great guy, but yeah, I mean, it just kind of let us show that a little bit more. But that's the thing. I would have been happier with more little silly scenes like that of him being, just ultimately a good guy for no reason.
Yeah. Or if they were like, okay, here's an extra 20 minutes, and then at the end of that it said, go watch movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watched a movie, and you were like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, if it did what My Hero did, it had that was its pre-episode before the movie came out, and it was like, here's the intro to the movie. Watch this episode. Now you can watch the movie. It would make more sense. You know, honestly, if they needed an extra 6 or 7 weeks before they needed to make season 2, I could understand that. They started off season 2 with a 45-minute intro episode, which was awesome. Loved it.
No, that's true. That's
but
pretty awesome.
And maybe that's what they were doing during the 7 weeks while they were re-showing the movie, is working on season 2, which is if they were doing that, that's great. I really do appreciate it, but they could have just waited.
Yeah, I would have been fine with that. Just be like, we're working on something cool, so. Little delay. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's honestly I think the root of I think we're a little less salty this time we recorded. But if you don't know, we lost the audio to our first recording of this, so
a little defeated. So
but we're jumping back in, trying to get our opinions back out and remembering what we kind of went over. But we were really salty on that Demon Slayer. Not the movie, but just the retelling. More the series that retold it. And our biggest issue was that was the root. It didn't, besides the first episode, it didn't seem to add too much to the whole Demon Slayer experience. And the only thing we could think of that it was a small cash cow for them, or a small delay that they could use to work on season 2. Be honest, I like the second reason more than the first reason. If it's just to get money, it's like, okay, well, I think Demon Slayer made plenty of bank from the movie that you guys didn't really need that. But if it's a delay, I could understand that. It's like, hey, let us fill some time in before season 2. We'll just re-show you the movie. It's like, okay, but the movie's also available on every streaming platform that Demon Slayer's on. So, it's kind of not a win-win situation where you're just like, it's more Demon Slayer. It's like, well, if I want to watch if I want to watch the movie again, I'll just watch the movie. I can watch the first episode and watch the movie, and I'll get the same thing.
Yeah, without any commercials or waiting in between weeks.
Absolutely. Beyond the Demon Slayer movie, I am struggling to think of other anime series movies that are out there that are absolutely worth watching. I know there's probably stuff for Fairy Tail. There's probably stuff for.
I'm gonna say there's probably a
One
ton
Piece,
of OVAs we're just not mentioning.
Yeah, but, there's some One Piece movies out there that are actually pretty good. I remember, what do we call it? It was Stampede, not Rampage.
Yeah. There's Stampede.
There's Gold. There's
I don't remember what the one with
Gold is the one with the casino.
World is.
Is he in the casino?
No.
Okay.
He's the one who's he's in prison, and he's like, I'm going to bring together my giant ship cannon and destroy everything like I did years ago.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't remember what
that might have been.
anymore.
I thought there was one called Rampage too, but that's why we're casuals, because we're not, we're not firm on the fact that we know everything. And then there was also one with Golden Shiki. I think he's the guy who's missing both of his legs but can float. That's his devil fruit. And he has a floating warlord island.
That sounds familiar too.
So there's a couple of movies, but most of the movies are kind of based on lore in One Piece, or things that mention. I think another really good movie out there. We already mentioned it, from Naruto. Oh no, it was part of the series where they expanded on the them going to the water or the water village, and I'm like, that would also be a good way to use movies, is to expand things that they touched on in the series but didn't explore during the series. So you can go to it in a movie and be like, yeah, this is what happened, and then you could just leave it behind. So
this got me actually thinking too. I want to ask, so I mean, you could almost say that these one-offs, I mean, to an extent, depending on how they take action with them, they're almost like fillers, like filler arc. So I don't know, would you rather still have filler arcs in anime, or would you, I mean, what if they just took what's it called in One Piece? They have the whole arc with the Foxy games or whatever, and where they're playing for pirates, and that's a whole so many episodes thing. But I guess they could have turned that into a movie. So I'm just kind of wondering, what if they just took all filler arcs and just turned them into anime movies?
I will throw another one
would
at
that
you.
Be all right?
I guess it's not filler. So to answer your question, I'm totally all right with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole thing with what's his name? Foxy? Yeah,
Silver
Foxy.
Fox Foxy.
Yeah, Silver Fox Foxy with the slow fruit. That is just fun. That's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
Like if you're watching it, it doesn't need drama. It could have something as small as, like, I think the stakes there was like they are gonna get one of your members.
I was gonna say there was enough drama there, and even they just kind of brushed it off, which was really funny.
But it was not deadly. So everybody's gonna be alive at the end. And they could even retell like a little bit of it. It's there's like some fusion anime out there like Toriko and One Piece. That would be a great movie opportunity.
That would be nice instead of just doing like 2 episodes and now you got to watch each series just to get each half.
Something that ticks me off. You remind me of the Dragon Ball Super movies. That we watched before the series. We watched Resurrection F and we watched Battle of the Gods, not in the other order. We watched Battle of the Gods, then Resurrection F for Frieza. And both of those were just retellings of the frickin' series. Like, it pissed me off because then it's 70 episomes.
It's a little different, but it was definitely very similar to the movies.
Resurrection F was definitely expanded.
Overall.
Battle of the Gods was pretty similar. And like all of that, I was like, no, the movies are just cash cows. Like, you guys are just getting money from this. That's it. But you did it wonderfully, but it's still just a cash cow. And like, it makes me upset.
See, I hope it doesn't come back and then they start just going into Brawly.
Because it's better as a movie.
Like, I hope they actually just kind of carry on from where the movie was.
Oh, like when Dragon Ball Super comes back.
If they did come back and did Brawly, that'd be awesome.
See, and that's the thing. It's like the Brawly movie was great. It had it. We don't know if it's canon or not because it's entirely possible it could be. Because the only thing that didn't happen in the series was fusion, but then Goku was stronger than that in the series later in Dragon Ball Super, like with Instinct, like he was like a step above, not maybe where fusion, like maybe Fusion Instinct. Anyways,
I don't know. Vegeta has a ways to go.
Oh,
I don't know if he could do that.
I've heard some good things with Vegeta in the future,
Oh.
but and that's the thing is like that's another great way. I think Dragon Ball's just great at like making movies because every time they make a movie, even if it was Battle of Gods or Resurrection F, it's just good.
All their movies are pretty fun.
Yeah, and they never blow things out of the water. Like they're never like, oh, let's toss in a new idea. It's like, well, both movies were based on the manga, and then, I guess the series, and then the other movie for Brawly is entirely believable to fit in that world because at the end of it, it wasn't some big thing. It was Brawly needs to calm down. And then Brawly calmed down, and that was the end of the movie. He got
put him on timeout.
He got with his thick alien girl, and then he's like, oh, "Okay, I can calm down."
Of course, you know what? I would like to see just once in a Dragon Ball Z movie or just a show where they're like, "Okay, we're powered up and we're fighting. It's all these crazy fight scenes." Just cut to like the regular people, like Bulma and all of them, just being like, "Okay, we can't see them anymore. We might as well just carry on with our lives for a bit until they're done fighting." Because I mean, they keep going. I can barely track them. Like, at some point, they had to have stopped. Just given up. Just like, okay, Goku's doing his thing. We'll check back when the sonic booms in the air stop.
Well, like Krillin, like he's like, I barely can track them, and Bulma's like, I don't know what you're watching. There's nobody there. Like, there's nothing happening right. It's like the new video game that's coming out for Dragon Ball Breakers. It's like, and all these people died from Cell. Actually, yeah, that's why they have to be wished back constantly because regular people can't do anything.
Farmers with 5 power levels.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 power levels. At least they're not 1 power level.
That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Well. I don't know if we have anything else to say about anime movies. I think I can keep my opinion that I like most of them. I wish they would stop rehashing the series into movies. I also wish they would figure out how to do filler movies better. Especially, like, Naruto's basically done, and Boruto, whatever, Time Turtle, whatever. But for the most part, I think a lot of movies that are coming out more recently have been doing well. But again, I still have issues mostly with the third My Hero movie that's come out. I didn't appreciate it as much as the first one. I liked the first one a lot. The second one I also liked, but there was a major controversy in it. And I don't want movies to continue this thing where they're trying to make it overly exciting and overly dramatic at the expense of what is going on to the characters.
Just keep it like a Konosuba movie. Just have fun with it and keep it light.
Boom! Excellent. Konosuba movie. What? See, why at the end of these videos do we always realize one movie that we should have talked about?
I was definitely thinking about
Konosuba.
How did I not think of that earlier?
Perfect. They don't ever need to talk about it. Like, if there's more Konosuba that comes out later, they don't need to go back and talk about this movie because it's standalone. It is exactly within the realm of these characters can do because none of it was under their own volition or power. It was all like Megami can make super big explosions and you know, she could funnel all that power into a weird gun thing, and it totally makes sense. It's okay. And you know, we'll leave you there with that. Konosuba, 10 thumbs up out of 5.
Konosuba.
Yeah. As normal, you can find us at Anime Casual or at animecasualreal@gmail.com. You can find us at any social media or just comment on any of our videos because we're trying to comment as quick as possible back, and we love the feedback. As always, we would like to tell you to keep
it
casual.
I was there that time.
Nice job.
Bye.